What's up, everybody? What's up? How you doing? Welcome to On the Warpath. It's Sanchez 405. We're live on YouTube, on Twitter, and Facebook tonight. So wherever you are, make sure you like. If you're on YouTube, that make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Join the live and whatever else we're doing here. And then also, if you want to listen to this is going to be on Anchor tomorrow morning. So you can go back and listen to all of us here. Well, it's just two of us here. And one of the best, I call him one of the young savants, one of the young three in the YouTube community for Washington football. We've got Rico from Street Scores here. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's happening, man? Happy to be here, talk some burgundy and gold. My boy Warpath. This is my first time on your channel. I've been on a lot of like collab streams with you on other people's channels. This is my first time on yours, man. And I'm ready to have fun, bro. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the comments and everything. I love it.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Barrett, Derek B, Justin Coffey, Rodgers Smith, the OG up in here as well. And you can check out Rico. Y'all really, he doesn't need to introduce himself because he's got this game on lock. But go over to the Street Score, subscribe to him if you crazy enough not to subscribe to it. And then you can also follow him on Twitter at Street Scores Rico. So and we're here to talk about the draft and what Washington did, and we'll just dive right into it, man. Jamin Davis at pick 19. A lot of people were thinking that it was going to be Jock. It could have been Darrisaw, but he went already. And then you find out that that heart defect with Jock was there. So Jamin Davis sitting there, could have traded back. What were your thoughts at that pick on 19?
It's crazy too, because like 2 weeks ago I was like, it might be Jamin Davis just off of his like after I like noticed his RAS score and his athleticism and things like that. I was like, Micah Parsons may go before our pick, and we may just convince ourselves of Jamin Davis. Like officially, like originally at that point, I was a little, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I just wasn't super excited. But the more that I went back and watched his tape and then envisioned our defensive line in front of him, which will keep him clean, I'm actually very excited. I think at the end of the day, like Mac Miller even said, I think he, should at least be top 2 in Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates odds, because this defensive line is going to keep him super clean. All he has to do is use that freakish athleticism. Fairly Raw was just a special teams ace until his last season that he just played. And then he just, you see the rawness, like you see potential, you see flashes. I think we'll get it consistently out of him. With Jack Darrell, Ron Rivera, 2 ex-linebackers, they're both geniuses. If I'm Jamin Davis, if I'm looking around the league and I want a team that I can have my best stats on and stay the healthiest, maybe not necessarily Super Bowl yet, but like a team that I want to go to is Jamin Davis. And like, this is where I can be set up the best. The coaches, the players around me, it's literally us. I can't pick another team over us that if I'm Jamin Davis, I want to play for.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people looked at that Jamin Davis pick and were like, they could have traded back and got him. They could have done this, that, and the third. It's Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, for God's sake. If anybody can get this right and pick a linebacker, I'm trusting these two, right? It's like if you go into a Ford dealership to fix your F-150, you're going to trust a Ford dealership before you trust a Toyota dealership on it. Yeah. And I was just like, but kind of what you said to his athleticism, man, this guy's a freak. He was covering Kyle Pitts and held his own against him. That's all
you can argue. You can argue out of all linebackers, corners, safeties, everybody last year, he actually held his own the best. Kyle Pitts gave Patrick Surtain the business, right? So the potential is there. I agree.
Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. And what's been our biggest bugaboo on defense? We can't cover tight ends, and granted, we might not have any tight ends that they can cover in practice, so that probably added to that. But you've got Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert is on the rise, and then whoever Dallas is going to throw out there against us. But yeah, man, I thought Jamin Davis was a good pick. I couldn't agree with you more. Now I know you were big on the Trey Lance train, and were you sitting there when you're watching draft and you were like, we could make a move for quarterback? Did that ever pass your mind where you like, they may go in there?
Man, when Fields was there at 11, man, I was like, bro, it gotta be us. And then I saw the Bears have traded up. I was sick. I already knew what happened. I already knew they were taking Justin Fields. And to make it worse, since I'm in Atlanta, I have fans. My closest friends, I really don't have any NFC East friends, really. My closest friends are 49ers who took Lance, Bears who took Fields. I got to deal with Colts, Steelers, like all of them random teams. And so, like, everybody was giving me the business because my 49ers friend wanted Fields. He doesn't even care about Lance. My Bears friend that got Fields, he's nervous because he feels like the Bears mess everything up. And I'm just upset because, like, none of y'all are grateful. Y'all took both of my guys and nobody's excited. Like, they were all like, we'll see. I'm like, you should already. I was sick. I was hurt. They made me more mad than them actually getting taken. My friends just, downplaying it. Or we'll mess this up. Or that wasn't the guy I wanted. I'm mad. I'm pretty
right.
Upset. But all in all, though, I prefer them not to force taking a quarterback they don't love and building the way we did. I feel like we addressed a lot of needs over just forcing it and taking the guy that they're willing to give up on in the next year or two.
Yeah. No, man, I agree with you there. And I was like, wait, Chicago jumped. And we know it was kind of interesting. I saw a meme on Instagram, and it's like Ohio State quarterback struggling in NFL, Bears long history with bad quarterbacks. And it's like,
I didn't even think about that. Like, there's some synergy there.
Synergy, but what's up, Anna? How you doing? And Merrill, the OG, what's up? And J Martown and Adraman 901, what's up? And DC Anthony, what's up? Third down, how y'all doing? And here with Rico's street scores. And Rico, we kind of move over to day 2 where Washington had 3 picks. And the first pick and entry, shout out to my guy, Rolando, who's in the comments. He told me Friday morning, he's like, have you looked at Sam Cosmi? And I was like, no, not really. I hadn't looked at him. I had really just looked at the first round guys. And he said, you need to go look him up. And Washington went ahead and took him. Guy's athletic. He's played tight end in some packages. 3-year starter at Texas in a pass-happy offense. What do you see when you look at Cosmi?
First of all, that tight end part is interesting because, like, you hear about him having a touchdown reception, but I'm not sure people have actually gone and looked at the play. It was a screen. And he had to run like 20 yards. Like, it's not like he was in the end zone waiting for the ball. They threw it behind the line of scrimmage, and he had to run about 20 yards. Granted, they had people in front of him, but still, like, your offensive tackle, even potentially guard, whichever one you prefer. I think more so tackle anyway. To run a screen 20 yards into the end zone is, like, ridiculous athleticism. The RAS score that he has, relative athleticism score, he's technically, statistically, according to how fast he is, how strong he is, his size, he's technically the second most athletic tackle drafted since 1987, which means you saw his bench. I think his bench was 9 more reps than Trent Williams, a faster, more explosive. So he's just this big ball of clay that we have to mold. And if you can, great. I don't love his tape yet. One of my main things, and I think I heard somebody like Chris Cooley also pointed out as well, is that he doesn't play angry. Like, one of my favorite parts of Quentin Nelson's game for the Colts is that he just looks like the angriest guy on the field.
Right.
Yeah. Samuel Cosmi never looks like he had a bad day. He looks like he's just going out there, ooh, football's fun. Let me block the guy in front of me. That's my biggest worry for him. But the athleticism, I trust our coaches to get that athleticism out of them. I just want to get that attitude out of them. And then we'll talk about Yomi Brown later. He's my favorite attitude out of the whole draft.
Yeah. Oh man. I
love his personality.
Yeah, and Cosmi, I think that you look at what Trevell Wharton, the assistant line coach, and John Matsko, the offensive line coach, what they did with this offensive line, and something that was a perceived weakness, the left side of the line, they took time and worked on it and fixed it to where it was Schweitzer and you had Cornelius Lucas out there on the left side. 2 guys you're not thinking like these guys aren't Pro Bowlers or all pros or anything, but they made it work. They protected. And I don't think people realize how involved it was. They were protecting for 4 different quarterbacks and kept them clean for the most part. And Kyle Allen, he is sack proof. Dwayne Haskins, we know what he is. Alex Smith was a sitting duck there half the time. And then you also had Morgan Moses, who I thought played the best out of his I thought he played great, and Brandon Sheriff played good as an all-pro last year, going into quarterbacks to offensive lineman. But I think Cosby, like you said, he could be. What's up, buddy?
Brody, I'm sorry. Brody.
That's the mascot, man. That's the mascot. My cat will probably wind up in here. What's up, Ready Red? And I've got a super chat here. Thank you, Third Down. Now the Washington football team needs to extend Terry and Logan Thomas ASAP. I agree with that. We need to get our offensive weapons there too. But yeah, I just think that Cosme, now he could be like Hines Ward, man. If you ever seen Hines Ward's tape, I know it's a wide receiver, but he was always smiling, but he played with an edge. So
yeah, that's my Georgia guy right there too. I love Hines Ward.
So maybe Cosme can do it. And then Washington went north of the border in the second, third round pick, and they went and took Benjamin St. Juste, big old boy, 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Minnesota, and a guy who started at Michigan, was on injured reserve for him. Michigan came out and said he's going to retire from football because of his injury with his hamstring. Then he transferred to Minnesota. The rest is history. What do you think about a guy who can play probably safety and corner, but Jack Del Rio says he's going to play him at corner most of the time?
I can see corner, definitely by 6'3", and the way his hips are, like how fluid his hips are, you just don't find that with a guy his size. Now, granted, he didn't test well, but he looks more athletic than the way he tested on tape. So I'm confident in him. But my thing is, like, even before we took him, I wanted Ifeatu Melifonwu because my logic was we have William Jackson, lockdown corner. But he's more of a speedster, so I prefer him, say we go against the Buccaneers again. I want him to go against the Chris Godwins. I wanted a bigger guy to go against the Mike Evans. So, like, even though I wanted Ifeatu Melifonwu more, I saw the logic behind the Benjamin St. Juste pick. Plus, at the end of the day, he can, potentially move the free safety if we can train him, we can develop them to do that. But at the end of the day, I think when in doubt, I think the goal is to groom him to be our cornerback too, potentially move Kendall Fuller back in the slot because he's a good outside corner, but he's an elite slot corner,
yeah. And I thought, and we saw that weakness against Mike Evans and Kendall Fuller in that playoff game. Yeah. And then you have to play him. You're probably going to have Devontae Adams as a big corner. So you're going to be playing some big white. Kenny Galladay is in the NFC East now. So you've got these cats that are going to be big bodies. And that I like the St. Juste pick. It really. And you kind of look at it, Washington, I called these guys. Well, shout out to Micro Mike. What's up, man? Thank you for stopping by. Check him out. And you look at these guys, and they didn't get these gold chain players. And now I'm going to go old school for a second. So we know back in the 80s and stuff. So back when Merrill and Roger and them were in their prime, they used to wear these gold chains. But they used to turn the next green all the time. I don't think we went with that. They stuck with their guns. They stuck on that board. And that's what Ron said in his press conference, too. We just stuck with the players that were there. And you kind of find your favorite. They go back on offense. They alternate. Yomi Brown out of UNC. Talk about what dimension this cat can add to the offense with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
First of all, I didn't notice the fact that we went defense, offense. That's pretty funny. Until you said it, I didn't even think about it. I loved Yomi Brown. When we first took him, my live reaction, I was a little like, I didn't really love him because I didn't watch a lot of his tape. I didn't expect us to, I know Chris Sims had him as number 3 receiver. But still, like, I was looking at bigger guys because I felt like our need was bigger. Can we get the best out of Cam Sims or Antonio Gandy-Golden? That's why they wanted to trade for N'Keal Harry. So I didn't even scout the smaller guy. I mean, he's not small. He's 6'1", I believe. But I was looking at 6'4" guys like Simi Fehoko. So my tape on him was limited. Then I went back and watched this tape, saw some advanced statistics. Oh, still being compared to Terry McLaurin and Stephon Diggs coming out of the draft. And then even when I went back to look at him, he's one of the best deep threats, if not the best deep threat last season for college. And then he's productive, 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard years. And he even said it. He said that North Carolina's offense limited him. He says like he has the potential to run more routes in the route tree. They just didn't ask him to do that. He was so deadly and just running straight up. They were like, just keep doing that. We don't want you to do anything else. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I believe he has the potential. Kind of like a Terry McLaurin when we drafted him wasn't a great route runner. Now he's one of the best in the NFL. I think basically he has the same trajectory and projection. But my favorite part about him is his personality. Like I foreshadowed a little bit earlier. Like I'm not sure if you've seen the play, but first round pick AJ Terrell, and he went to my high school, but I still don't even really like him that much on the Falcons. I don't think he's that good worth the first round pick. But still, man on man coverage. Yomi Brown pre-snap before the ball's even hiked, tells the quarterback throw it my way. Like I got him. It's easy. I'm making this play. And then he proceeded to go get a touchdown. Now picture how hype Chase Young and everybody would be on the sideline. They see him call the corner out. Oh, this is the guy y'all got guarding me? Throw it my way. Don't even look at him. Don't look at Terry McLaurin. Don't look at Curtis Samuel. I got him. Imagine if he does that in a game, how much harder Chase Young and them are gonna hit. How much faster everybody's gonna run. It's kind of like that badge in 2K when you dunk and everybody's like energy goes up. It's kind of like the same thing.
He just sucked the gravity right out of the building. That'll be
boy.
Kevin Holland, man. Shout out to Brad Hawk. What's up, Derek, the dazzling urbanite? What's up, brother? Damien in here. Roger and Maryland. Meryl, they're gonna have words with me afterwards after the gold chain comment. Brown said, can get deep quick. Yeah, it was like one play where he's just like, I think it was Jeremiah who said it too, that if he gets on top of somebody, it's over with. That's in game. It's Thanos. Boom, like that. Because he's going to go to the house, and then you give an opportunity for Ryan Fitzpatrick, who right now will probably be the starter coming into week 1. And you give him an opportunity to get somebody on the sideline, and he could throw out of bounds. But Yomi Brown's this guy who can go and do, and hopefully, like you said, he can maybe run some more routes if he felt like he was limited at UNC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I love how they're building around Ryan Fitzpatrick, but for the future at the same time. Because this, even like Yomi Brown said, we probably have the fastest receiving core now. We're competing with the Chiefs for like the most athletic, fastest receiving core. And that's ideal for Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, he doesn't care. He's going to throw it up there regardless, receiver open or not. And I know guys like Yomi Brown, Curtis Samuel, and Terry McLaurin are going to love that, because I'm pretty sure Terry McLaurin, it's nothing more frustrating than feeling like you're open and the ball not being thrown your way. Ryan Fitzpatrick, at the very least, is going to throw it your way, whether you're open or not. And I'm excited to see these receivers. You know, they're going to have more responsibility on their shoulders. It's up to me to go make a play now. You know, he's just going to throw it up there. You better beat him, because the ball's already out.
Yeah, that's it. It's in. Just go out there and play. Hey, it's gonna be like street ball. Hopefully, if we can break these corners down, it's gonna be fun to watch him. Rockman, what's up, man? How you doing? 35 people in the building. 39 I've got on here. So make sure y'all like it up and share it out if you can, because we're talking. This is a first thing. It definitely won't be the last. I can tell you that much right now, because we having too much fun.
Yeah, man, dude.
But day 3 gave me so much heartache, so much fun, so much laughter. I mean, it had so much anger. It was so much emotion on day 3, starting in the 4th round. And Washington goes out. They finally get a tight end. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I saw Ben standing. I was like, tight end. Yes, thank you, Jesus. And then they went and got Norman Bates from Psycho. They went and got his great-grandson, John Bates, out of Boise State, the blue turfer. And I'll tell you this, before I even started, I said, who in the ham sandwich is John Bates? Like my grandma's got Bateses in her family. So I thought, is this like our cousin or something that just went over west back in the 1800s? But the more and more I looked at him, and I'm going to say this on here, and then I'm going to get your thoughts. The more and more I looked at his draft profile, and with the right teaching, with Pete Hainer, George Kettle.
Okay.
George Kettle. You look at his draft profile, and you look at George Kittle's draft profile. I'm telling y'all, scary, but they've got similar numbers in college. And then you look at their profiles, man. But I don't know. What did you think about John Bates sitting there, and Brevin Jordan was still on the board as well? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I was hurt originally because I was a huge Tommy Tremble guy. I've been Tommy Tremble for months now. That was my comparison to George Kittle, just off of like both of them terrible quarterback, terrible offensive coordinator in college. And then actually looking at John Bates now, similar situation. Not a good quarterback play, offensive coordinator doesn't know how to use them, untapped potential. You know, I had it wrong, I guess. I should have been talking about John Bates this whole time, because just like you, when we first took him, I was like, I guess. I knew of him, but I didn't know a lot about him. Went and watched this tape. I love his floor. First of all, he's coming in as that dependable tight end 2 blocker, but he also has good hands. Great flexibility. If you could throw it to him, he's gonna find a way to come down with it, even if it's like slightly off over his back shoulder. He's a good ball tracker, and he's also a good contested catch maker. So his floor is very high, and then his potential is there. He ran a 4.8. He didn't test well, but he was like a track athlete, like doing hurdles or something back in like high school or college or something like that. So it's there, and I feel like we may be able to unlock it, because at the end of the day, tight ends, not every tight end is Travis Kelce. Like even Logan Thomas, as much as we love him, Logan Thomas doesn't get open on his own. Really, all he's good at is blocking and catching what's thrown to him. Scott Turner does the rest. Scott Turner is the one that gets Logan Thomas open, not Logan Thomas. So if John Bates can block, which I feel like he will be able to, if he can catch, which, what we had to deal with Jeremy Sprinkle, in comparison, he's already going to do something better. I like the pick. Granted, you can point out the fact that maybe you can get him later. But if you really like a guy, we're not going to complain 3 years from now if he's literally a really good tight end 2 and saying, "Oh, we could have got him in the 5th." No, you're just happy he's on the team at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I like I said, that 4.8 40 that he had, I thought Pedro had said something on Twitter about that, and I said, oh dear God. But the more and more I looked at him, he was a track athlete, javelin state champion. He was all state football player, and that stuff just doesn't go away. It's still there, and it's part of his makeup. I'm going to get to some comments here. Again, shout out to Nati, DMV Sports Zone. He's going to have Wole on from Urban Sports Scene tomorrow, so go check him out. Sharp dude on Twitter and everything out there in the Richmond area. Would say, what's up, AM Hunter? Says, yo, Sanchez, yo, Rico. Athletic and versatile players we selected. Absolutely. And Rodgers says, useful exuberance is what C. Young brings at an insane level, which is infectious to the rest of the team. That energy just gets everybody hyped to win. Shout out to the Dern, part of the ISN, along with Micro Mike. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to Dern. Good dude there from the hometown of Trey Lance as well, too. So I know they're celebrating up in Marshall, Minnesota. Nati, go do your research, son. Get those likes up. Dude preaches knowledge. I'm trying. Justin Coffee also said kind of what we alluded to. John Bates is slow. Barrett Downing says, what's up, guys? HCTR forever. Excuse me, that's not forever. That's forever. Forever. And thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for helping out the channel. Thank you. Bless you. And then we've got Hawk as well. What are the chances we keep 7 receivers and convert one of them to tight end? By the way, I'm you, tech guy, when both of your shows get picked up. Oh, okay, you're our tech guy. Gotcha. Appreciate you, brother. So that's a good question by Derek there. So what do you think? I don't think we're going to, and you did your roster preview today, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I saw it come up on my notifications. What do you think? Or you don't want to give any spoilers? Do you think it's do you think we're gonna go with 7?
Oh no. Well, first of all, I rock with you. I'm gonna talk about what I'm gonna talk about. I'm not gonna save nothing like, nah, y'all need to go look at my channel now. I'm gonna just straight up answer the question. It's definitely not that serious. I rock with all y'all, man. Y'all,
I know, brother. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. I don't think. Some people have talked about Cam Sims or Kelvin Harmon. I think Kelvin Harmon maybe just because he's already a good blocker.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't. It's harder to transition to tight end than people think. Like being able to be a dependable, like Kelvin Harmon's good at blocking DBs. Is he going to be able to block Chase Young? That's where it comes. That's what it comes down to. I don't necessarily see it in my opinion. Plus, we went and signed another guy earlier today. Yelda from the Chiefs.
Dion Yelder and Stephen Linden or something like that.
Yeah, they're trying to bring in as many tight ends as possible, which shows me that I don't think they're going to try to transition a receiver from tight end. Maybe before, like we drafted John Bates, we brought in Samus Reyes and signed Yelder today. Maybe, but I think today, like the fact that we already have like 7 tight ends on roster, I think they're just going to try to, because remember we still have Tamarick Hemingway, Marcus Ball, guys like that. I think they're just going to figure it out within that group.
Yeah, and pretty much the theme of the tight end room is if you have a pulse, if you can walk, and you can chew bubble gum at the same time, you can probably play tight end for the Washington football team right now. That's just, and this is why our linebackers have struggled because they don't have tight ends to cover right now. So I think we've got about 8 on the roster here. Shout out again to Hawk, Matt Williams up in here. Let's go. Hail to the football team. Stefan says we picked up Samus Reyes. Him and B. Jordan are the same type of players we needed a blocking tight end. Hey, I'm cool with that. And what do you think, before we go back and draft, what did you think about them picking up Samus Reyes?
Oh, man, I was really excited. You know me, I'm the freak athlete lover, like the Jeremy Chins, the Kyle Duggars. So when we brought him in, and then I heard like other teams wanted him, but he preferred to go to us because I think he already lived there, or his girlfriend lived there, or something like that. So we were like chosen. I was really happy about that. I think the Giants and the Eagles were also interested, so that means we took a guy from them on top of everything else. But I mean, it just depends on, can he take a hit, can he catch, and will he be like he's plenty strong. I think he had more bench reps than Trent Williams, more than Nick Bosa, like all of these really strong guys. It's just, can he get the technique down for blocking? If he can do those 3 things, literally better Jimmy Graham. But will it take a year? Will it take 2 years? So it's kind of one of them out of sight, out of mind things. I don't want to keep thinking about him because I'm going to keep getting excited. And then what if we don't even see him play in a game till like week 10 type of thing? So
right.
But I'm really excited though.
Yeah, and shout out to Dern, said, don't laugh. How well do you think the Lions will do? Playoffs. I keep on telling you that. I'm going to tell you that till the end. Praise the Lord. What's up, cousin Dwayne? Go and check him out as well. Let's see here. Roger, trying to get everybody, at least the new comments in here. This is fun. What's up, Soul Mender? How you doing? Okay. Boom. Brevin Jordan. I wanted Brevin Jordan too. Alexander Wilson said, honestly, draft grades right after the draft are useless. Washington hasn't gotten an A on drafts, but 3 years later, that draft sucks, like in 2017's draft. Yeah, it's true. And I think it's kind of an interesting dynamic too. A lot of people said tend to give Kyle Smith praises when we picked good, but then, and also thank you for the super chat too, Alexander. I appreciate you. They gave Kyle Smith praises when the picks went good, but they would lean on that crutch of Bruce Allen when it was bad. So yeah. I mean, and now you've got Kyle Allen down there in your neck of the woods. So what did you think about that? Like when Colin Smith went out there and to Atlanta. What do you think we lost for him? I know I'm kind of going off the beaten path, but we'll talk about Derek Forrest after this question.
Oh no, fine, just fine. Well, first of all, I mean, Falcons I hate more than any other team. I mean, I hate the Cowboys, hate the Giants, Eagles, and all of that, and the Patriots, but the Falcons are number one. So now I have to root against them like with a lot of passion. But I'm not like, I agree. Like, I mean, nobody talks about how bad our second round picks have been for like 3 years. It was like Stuart Ravens, Darius Geis. Like, it's been terrible. And then the Trey Apkes of the world, I mean, my boy, I like Sean Dion Hamilton, but he was an injury risk when we took him and it never worked out. I mean, just look at the turnover rate from the draft picks we've had. I mean, we've had the sleepers like Cameron Curl, Terry McLaurin in the third. Even the Antonio Gibson, I heard, was more of a Scott Turner guy. Like, and then I think we got Terry McLaurin off of Dwayne Haskins' recommendation. So it's just like, really, who? Yeah, I mean, hey, when he did something right. So like, I mean, how much credit and blame do we give to Kyle Smith, honestly? Because again, these second round picks have been terrible. I mean, it was almost that people were saying we should use our second round picks, trade like the next 4 and try to move for a quarterback because we don't use them right anyway.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so dear God, Cosme, please, Cosme, work out. Please work out.
Man, please break the curse.
Yeah,
please.
break that curse. Nati, we are going to get to that here in a little bit once we get through the draft pick. That's my next big question. Let's see. 100%. And y'all can check out my ISN video because I did that on Saturday before Ben Barnwell started talking about it. Do you guys see how pissed the Eagles got when the Lions took McNeil? I didn't see that. Let's see. And one more super chat here from Alexander. Doubling up. Thank you, brother. Thoughts on Ron Rivera saying Fitz may be more than a 1-year solution? It sounds like he might be back in 2022 from what they are saying. Oh, God. I'll let you take that one first. How would you feel if the Amish beard by way of Arizona and Harvard-educated man Ryan Fitzpatrick comes back for it seems like his 20th season in the NFL with Washington?
As long as we have a quarterback behind him learning, I'm good. But if we're just like, oh yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we're just like we still don't know, I'm gonna be a little disturbed. But then we'll see. I mean, I think they said Ryan Fitzpatrick over the last 3 seasons has a higher QBR than Aaron Rodgers, which is crazy. He's literally playing his best football now, but still, he's not a long-term solution. I feel like there's always going to be those random games where he's going to win you some games, he's going to lose you some games. But as long as we have a developmental quarterback behind him, right now, my favorite so far. I haven't watched a lot of tape on him, but next year's draft, my boy Malik Willis, that's my favorite so far. Yeah, so if we have a guy like that developing behind him, I'm straight. But if it's just Ryan Fitzpatrick and we still don't know behind it, I'm gonna be a little sad.
And Alexander, one more super chat here. Don't forget that Steiner handpicked Haskins and Geis. A lot of bad choices of a team came from Snyder. Don't forget, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
Haskins too.
Strip Club Simba and I'm not even going there with Darius Geis, but yeah. So yeah. But you're absolutely right, Alexander. Thank you again for the super chat. Washington should trade for Rodgers and get him out of the NFC North. We'll get to that here, but we got a couple more picks. Derek Forrest. A lot of people are saying that he may be has free safety ability, 3-year starter, captain at Cincinnati. I think of him more as a box safety from what I've seen, and it was ironic that Ron Rivera actually announced that pick. I thought he may have put Landon Collins on notice, but from what you see for Derek Forrest, what do you like, and then what are some things you think he can improve on?
Well, mainly, I love his athleticism. I think he has the athleticism to play free safety. Because if you look at all of the top free safeties, Trey Boston, Justin Simmons, Anthony Harris, I think they all ran in like the 4.5s, 4.6s. And Derek Forrest is in the 4.4. So like the athleticism is there, but on tape, I haven't seen it. Like he just doesn't have the instincts. So I agree. I think he's more of a like Cameron Curl-ish role, honestly, like just somewhere in the box, kind of back, but not all the way back by himself, single high, like I feel like we need. So yeah, I agree. I think it's more of a put Landon Collins on notice. I think he steps in and is like immediately our special teams ace, probably a Deshazor Everett replacement if they're ready to move on from him as our like special teams, that guy that goes down and makes the tackles. What I don't like I haven't seen free safety yet from him. I haven't seen, even though he plays well in the box and he's pretty straight in coverage and he's not afraid to hit people. I've seen him miss quite a bit of tackles on tape. And then, yeah, I mean, he's just a developmental guy. May not even see him contribute to anything other than special teams, maybe until like 2 years down the line. We'll see. Again, freak athlete. I love my freak athletes, and I'm down to give them chances.
Versatility remains very, very important for Ron Rivera and everything. And then didn't have a 6th round pick originally, traded back in to the 6th round. I was like, oh God, what are we going to take it in the 6th round? They addressed the biggest need on the team. It ain't easy being cheesy. Cameron Cheeseman, the long snapper out of Michigan, probably one of the best long snappers there outside of I think Fletcher, who was at Alabama, went to Carolina before. So it's kind of interesting. Old Ron Rivera, new Ron Rivera meet, and they do a run on long snappers. So what did you think? I won't ask you what you think of them, but what did you think about that trade and then giving them a 5 next year to Philadelphia to get Cameron Cheeseman?
Well, I think maybe it depends on if it was already after the Panthers pick. I think it was before the Panthers pick we traded up, and I believe they may have been targeting somebody else, just assuming like this is not coming from any reports. But then the Panthers took the long snapper from Alabama, so there was a run on long snap. This it started. I mean, because somebody took a long snapper right after us, so that was just the sweet spot. The Panthers just opened Pandora's box, and I guess they panicked and was like, "Man, we got to get one. Like, we can't just go into the offseason without one." So I feel like they may have been targeting somebody else. And then once the guy from Alabama got taken by the Panthers, they were like, well, we got to get one before all of them are gone, before our next pick. And so they ended up taking them. And I think it's one of those you live with. We'll be happy. Again, like just like John Bates, 3 years from now, we're not going to think about, man, we should have tried to get him later. We'll be happy that he's contributing and playing well for us at the end of the day. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if we're grading the draft, of course, it feels like a reach, and you docked them for that. But all in all, like how he's really going to contribute with Nick Sundberg, I think he retired or something like that, or we just didn't re-sign him.
Yeah, they weren't going to re-sign him. But, Nick Sundberg, he was here for 10 years and did his thing. So, and, we had Ethan Albright before then. And, I mean, it's good. It's a position that guys going to be here for hopefully 10, 15 years just snapping the ball. So, it's minuscule, but I still think it's important. So in this part, we'll just go with, if they cut the cheese, that's just going to be ridiculous after. But the G-Man came up with the best pun. He was a culture pick. Remember, you don't get more cultured than cheese. Oh my gosh, that was actually a good one. That's the best one I saw on here so far. And thank God he has a name like Cheeseman, so we can always make fun of that. We'll go rapid fire here on the 3 7th round picks, and 777. That will be your pick 3 number in Virginia and maybe Georgia, wherever you may be. Go and play that number for them old folks. Anyway, so William Bradley King, Shakatoni, Dax Milne, I believe it's how they pronounce it.
I know some people with that.
Yeah, I heard. I went and listened to some of the BYU games, and they said Milne on there, and I think the lady pronounced it. The pick was Milne, so we're just gonna say Dax. So I actually William Bradley King, I did a mock draft, and he was the only player that I picked right in the whole mock draft. Just had him at the wrong pick. I had him at 258, not 240. Guy's undersized, but got some good arms, got some moves. Maybe he can teach Chase Young multiple moves or something like that. What do you think about King coming here to Washington?
Yeah, I like him just adding some weight and being a nice little edge rusher depth, because we needed it. I felt like that was a very underrated need. I mean, we literally had Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and then it was James Smith-Williams, who can't stay healthy yet. I mean, I like his potential, but he couldn't stay healthy. Yeah. Ryan Kerrigan's more than likely not coming back. So we needed to address that, and I like him. I didn't really know about him that much, and then I went and watched his tape after we took him. I like his potential. Fairly athletic, not Shakatoni athleticism, but definitely good enough. And who better to learn behind Chase Young and Montez Sweat?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you, I think it could be mutually beneficial for them. And the guy who had probably the most intimidating picture that I could find, Shakatoni, from it, and it sounds like you're saying, shock it to me. And they say he's undersized. He's a linebacker. He led Penn State. And he's an end, but led Penn State in tackles. A lot of folks are saying maybe he could move and convert up to linebacker. What did you see out of Tony in his tape? Would you like? What did you didn't like so far?
I absolutely love his athleticism. Of course, I think he's the third most athletic guy we took. I think only behind Sam Cosmi and Jamin Davis. I believe he's at least top 4. And I definitely see him transitioning to Sam linebacker. He's first of all, he's even more. I think he's 10 pounds lighter than Williams Bradley King.
I think so. Yeah.
So, and he's undersized for defensive end. So I think he's going to be a really good pass specialist as a floor because, first of all, I don't think people are talking about this enough. He has some of the best bend in this entire class. I mean, I'm shocked that he even made it that far, especially for the teams that run a 3-4. You take that guy and develop him as just an outside linebacker in your 3-4. But as for us in a 4-3, I could definitely see him moving to Sam linebacker. I think he's basically could potentially be a more athletic Anthony Barr just off of the fact that, like, even in the Senior Bowl, they had him running coverage drills. So, like, even teams are projecting him to move to Sam linebacker. Like, it's not even like an idea I made up. Literally at the Senior Bowl, they had him doing coverage drills as if he was a Sam linebacker because that's obviously what he projects best as at the NFL level. And I think he's literally can be a more athletic Anthony Barr, who made like a similar transition. And at the very least, we bring him down on 3rd and longs to go get the quarterback with that ridiculous bend and explosion and pass rush ability.
Yeah, and the one thing they said about both of these players was that their arm length, their moves, like they can play a little angry, but sometimes they've got solid feet at times, and both of them were all conference players. A lot of people may not know this, although he was at Baylor last year. Bradley King made a name for himself in the Sun Belt at Arkansas, and he at Arkansas State where he was a Red Wolf. No. We're not going to say there's a premonition there. But anyway, while he was howling there, I mean, he had 19 sacks, and he was first team all conference 2 years in a row, then transferred as a graduate to Baylor, and he just struggled in the Big 12. So that's kind of where his stock kind of fell down there. But it's going to be nice to see what these two cats can do. Like you said, Tony, he's kind of undersized for an end, so maybe he can move over to Sam linebacker and be that guy that we need there. And then you may have solved your linebacking problem just like that in a draft. A guy who was really interesting to me that Washington decided to pick, it was the penultimate pick of the draft, Dax Milner, as we said, and guy can run almost any route. I'd like to talk to my boy Matt Harmon and see if he could get a reception perception on this cat and see how he does. But he was Zach Wilson's #1 target at BYU. I don't know. Do you see him making the roster? And I mean, if he is, as he's touted, he was a junior at BYU. He came out, I guess, because Zach Wilson left, so he wouldn't have that target. I like what he can do, and I think he'd be a great slot receiver at the next level. Talk about Dax Milner.
For me, I mean, as far as his roster spot, it depends on if Adam Humphries can stay healthy. Because last year was ugly because, like Kelvin Harmon missed because of leg injury. Cam Sims, back when he got hurt, 2018, leg injury, things like that. Antonio Gandy-Golden, leg injury. But, like, his Adam Humphries was like concussions why he missed the majority of a season, and that's pretty alarming. And I'm pretty sure that's why we paid him such little money. So I don't feel like there's a lock for Adam Humphries to make the roster. And I feel like if anybody were to take a spot, it would be Milne because I feel like he's a high floor, but relatively low ceiling slot guy who can also potentially return. But he has no holes in his game. Yep. Good route runner, really good hands. You look at some of Zach Wilson's highlights. Some of the passes aren't even accurate. It's Milne laying out to go corral those passes. Like he can pretty much do everything you need. He just doesn't have the athletic potential as a Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Yomi Brown, but he's very dependable. I think that high floor will be the reason he ends up making the roster. Because at the very least, I'm comfortable with him being a starting slot for us going forward, which will allow Curtis Samuel to move more around instead of being, restricted to the slot.
Yeah, and this was his breakout party last season at BYU. And I actually watched the piece this afternoon about his mom. His mom is a stage 4 cancer survivor, and he was going to BYU when he was there. So I think the kid has more motivation than just going to the next level. We'll see how he can I can't even talk. How he can section that off and kind of work through those situations. But I think his mother's doing really well. She looked good in the piece that they did. So, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder that he's going to do something. But like you said, Humphries better watch out because it's not a guaranteed roster spot. They did not pay him a lot of money to come here. So it would be interesting to see from that. And overall, with this draft, and I hate doing this because it's kind of like one of our comments said. It's stupid to grade these picks because you never know until 3 years down the road. But right now, what as far as you see, what would you give a grade? Compartmentalized. There you go, Anthony. Had a big it's late. It's late, brother.
I was to say it's a Wednesday night. DC ain't got to do that to us, man.
Yeah, man. Compartmentalized. That's what he said. Because I was stumbling over that word. My brother, he checks me out. I appreciate that. But yeah, what would you give this? Just for kicks and giggles, what would you give?
Well, for apparently, if the mission was to get the most athletic guys, the most versatile guys in the draft, it's an A+. But for me, I would give it a solid B, maybe B+. It's probably one of the hardest drafts to grade immediately afterwards because we literally went after straight potential.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jamin Davis isn't like we know where we're getting like a Micah Parsons or Jabril Cox. I think he has the potential to be better than all of them, but like we just don't know yet. Everybody's but Samuel Cosme potential. St. Juice, like we super don't know. John Bates, I think John Bates and Milne are probably like the most we are, and Shakatoni are probably the most we pretty much know what we're getting day one guys. Right. Everybody else is just super most athletic guy at their position in the draft type of thing, and super versatility and also high character. If we're going for high character, this is an A+. I mean, we got Jamin Davis. I'm not sure if you know, the night he got drafted, he didn't even go party after he literally went to bed early. He was like, oh, it's time to get to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's those type of high character guys that Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew were literally searching for. And they accomplished that. So for what they wanted, A+ to me overall, I think it was probably a B+.
Yeah, and shout out to the HT We Are podcast. I was on there with them last night. You can check that out on Apple. And they talked about what Jamin Davis said, which you can't have $1 million lifestyle with a dollar work ethic or something like that. So I mean, if that don't get you pumped about what this kid is all about, and Ron, military background himself, I think that's going to bode out well for him. But like you said, potential is key in this draft. I hate to say it like this, but they're selling hope. But I'm hopeful that they'll get this right. And you look at it, our draft picks last year, they played a major role outside of Sadiq Charles. All these guys really had a significant role on this team last year. Very young, and they're remaking this team. And hopefully it's going to turn out to be the same thing here in 2021. Yeah.
Even beyond the draft, I feel like we need to give our positional coaches the benefit of the doubt. Because when we brought in Wes Schweitzer, he was the backup guard on a bad Atlanta Falcons offensive line. Cornelius Lucas was a occasional starter for the Bears. Logan Thomas was struggling literally the only good game he had was against us and before we took him. Ronald Darby was, people thought he was washed. I mean, Eagles were on our heads on Twitter about signing him, and then he ended up being having the most passes defense in the NFL. I feel like I'm missing somebody else, but like we've brought in just McKissick. Thank you. Yeah. Like we've gotten the most out of guys, and not only do we know how to develop them and get the most out of them, our coaches know which positions to put them in. We made sure J.D. McKissick was pure third down back. We made sure Logan Thomas, even though it was ugly early, we just kept throwing him the ball. Like, no, Scott Turner, you gonna catch these passes eventually. You gonna learn how to catch in game. We just kept forcing it to him. And Cornelius Lucas having to go out there and block against from the Cardinals. Edge rusher.
Shoot, I'm thinking Chandler Jones.
I think so. I think maybe Jerron Christian was still blocking them, but either way, Cornelius Lucas was going against some great, some good. Like we were putting them out there. We were like, you're gonna learn today. Like I don't care. I mean, we want to win, but at the end of the day, we need y'all to get these important reps. Practice is not going to cut it. And I feel like they're going to probably do the same thing with these guys, potentially, depending on how they look at this season. And again, we just need to give them the benefit of the doubt. What they got out of that crop of guys we just said for free agency, like you said with the draft last season, with guys coming in and having immediate impacts, I'm giving this coaching staff the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong.
Right. And I think that's what Ron Rivera did, was he assembled a coaching staff that is very versed. If you look at it from position standpoint, you brought back Randy Jordan, who is who is great at coaching versatile running backs, because he was one. A lot of people don't realize he's the first touchdown scorer in Jaguars history as a running back. He caught a pass from Mark Brunell. So, and you look at Drew Terrell is new, taking over for the previous coach who's got bumped up, and then Hostler, and then you've got Matsko, Hayner. Don't forget the tight ends coach. He resurrected Greg Olson's career, and then what he did, what I think is his best job, is with Logan Thomas. Because if we were sitting here last year in the pandemic and everything, and we said Logan Thomas is going to be your number one tight end going into the next season, they would have looked at us with crazy. They would have shut down and reported our channels, Rico. And now we're like, Logan Thomas is the man. And then on defense, you've got Sam Mills III, who has been a coach in Carolina's system for years, coaching his defensive line. Steve Russ, who's had experience in college here. And then that triple-headed assault back there. You've got Harris. You've got Richard Rodgers, who is one of Ron Rivera's best friends. This whole coaching staff is loaded with talent. And then this is the quote that Soulman said, he got it right. You can't expect $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. Yeah. Amen. That's what Jamin Davis said. And then DC said, my Jesse Jackson voice, you kept up with hope and down with dope. And in the words of the great esteemed Pastor Reverend Ike, you can't lose with the stuff I use. But we move on from the draft, and
one more thing.
Go ahead, brother.
With the positional coaches, I like the fact that Ron Rivera trusts them as well, because Pete Hone is the one that wanted Logan Thomas. Scott Turner was the one that's like, just give me Taylor Heineke, I can make something happen. He also wanted Antonio Gibson. So I like the fact that Ron Rivera, like, listen, he's not just, oh yeah, I'm the man in charge, what I say goes. He listens. He's like, oh, you want this guy? You said you can do this with him? Okay, I'll go get him for you. Make it happen. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. He trusts. He's got people around him that he trusts, and I think that's why he cleared out the front office. That's why he brought in Marty Herney, his best friend. I mean, if you go search Marty Herney and Ron Rivera, there's a picture of Ron Rivera holding a binder and just holding it together, looking at Marty talk. So I'm like, yeah, this guy, they're buds. So, So we kind of get into past the draft and everything, and the biggest question was that quarterback was not addressed, and we talked about maybe possibly getting a quarterback or anything like that. Didn't do it. You were a Trey Lance guy, and we didn't get. We talked about that, but there could be something on the horizon as well with another quarterback. And some crazy scenarios, as I kind of alluded to on Saturday on one of my videos on the ISN network. Aaron Rodgers is unhappy in Green Bay, and they saying 2 2s, 2 1s, Ioannidis and Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you're the general man, if you're Ron Rivera, do you make that call to Green Bay and make that offer?
Immediately. Man, we are literally Aaron Rodgers away. I don't care if it's a 3 to 5 year rental. Winning a Super Bowl is hard to do. And as much as even if this next crop of quarterbacks in the draft turn out well, I don't predict us having the 19th pick or higher. I think we're going to be even lower. We're going to have to give up more to get that franchise quarterback than we would have had to give up to move up to get Justin Fields. So I think if you got it, I say do it. I mean, I like that Ioannidis, but Aaron Rodgers on any. I like the fact the way Chris Cooley worded it. Like Aaron Rodgers gets you 9 wins on any team in the NFL.
Exactly.
You put him on the Lions, you put them on the worst teams out here doing it. The Jets, anybody, the Jaguars. He gets you 9 wins alone, and I feel like I'm higher on our roster outside of the quarterback position than most people. When I take a look at the Bills last year, I felt like our offensive line was on par. Receiving core, you could say, well, going into next season, better. Our defense is clearly better. we're just missing the quarterback. Pretty much any team in the playoffs last year, except for the Bucks, you can point at and say we're better than them in a lot of different ways. And we're literally just missing that guy at quarterback. And if all you're giving up is Matt Ioannidis, who I love, but he doesn't play more than 12 games a season. And once you have Aaron Rodgers, you don't need those first-round picks. The team is solid. You drafted depth today. I trust our ability to sign free agents. We saw how William Jackson wouldn't have signed with us 3 years ago. He literally was like, I like Rivera's culture. I'm willing to take a little less money. More teams offered me more money, but I'm willing to take this money to play on a great defense and with Rivera's culture. So we're able to sign free agents. I believe I believe in us drafting well late. So if we're losing, I think it was only 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. I'm taking that 3-5 year window to win a Super Bowl, which is what I care about the most.
Right. No, and that's the key. We need to win a damn playoff game before anything. Shout out to Linda. Thank you for dropping by. I mean, we haven't won a playoff game since 2005. I'm going to tell, this is what I look at it as. Yes, when I do it, I'm adjusting that trade. I'm not giving up 4 picks. I may give up, and you know what? To hell with them. I'm sending Landon Collins because if we're going to take that, if we're taking that contract hit, I'm sending Landon Collins over there with that toxic contract.
For a bag of ruffles, I'm saying Landon Collins.
Here you go. I got a half bottle of water. Got a half bottle of water. I'll send over there. You can. I was listening. I like listening to the Team 980 and up there in DC, and I called into Chris Russell and Pete Medhurst's show, and Chris Russell is vehemently against it, and Anthony is a big fan of Chris Russell, so he can tell you all about him. But anyway, he's talking about he's not big in the play. Do you know the crap Aaron Rodgers has had to deal with for 16 years, living in the cold? Living in a small town. He might as well come and live with me down in the tip end of Virginia right now. And maybe because he's getting married, his wife don't want to live in the cold. She doesn't want to see snow in September. But you can't tell. Who cares if he's a jerk? If he can win you 9-10 games, and are we forgetting Ron? They say, he's going to mess up the culture. Who did Ron Rivera draft in 2011? Who did he draft? He drafted Medea, didn't he? He drafted the biggest drama queen there was, Cam Newton. And took him to a Super Bowl in 4 years. Are you kidding me? I'd do this deal, but I would adjust a little bit. I'll give him the 2 1s. I'm not giving up 2 2s for him. I'll give him a player, Fitzpatrick, and then send it on there. Because at the end of the day, they want to get rid of him. That's what it's going to come down to. And nobody's going to pay that price, or unless they're going to find some masseuses like they did in Houston with Deshaun Watson, and then say, Aaron Rodgers did all this, and Aaron Rodgers did this, that, and the third. But I don't think that's going to happen. I do it, man. I think that we're trying to win Super Bowls here, and I don't want to love my quarterback. If I can hate my quarterback, that's fine. But if he wins, I can say I hate that bastard. But I'm like, we won that game. That means more to me, man. That means more. Yeah,
and I think he's so disgruntled. Of course, he's naturally just like that a little bit. But I think the majority of his off the field issues comes from how much he just dislikes that team. Drafting Jordan Love without telling them ahead of time. I think they've only drafted 2 offensive players in the first round since 2012, 2010 or something like that. It's just like it seems like they're not prioritizing him at all. Like it doesn't seem like, and you could tell from his viewpoint. I think they released one of his friends. It was like a receiver. They released him in the preseason last year. One of his close friends. You can tell he's just upset, and I feel like he wouldn't be upset here. First of all, we'd be winning a lot of games, so how upset can you be? Well, our defense is on par with the Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers is clearly better than Tom Brady head to head. So I think we would immediately become at least a top 3 team in the league. And what would you have to complain about at that point?
Exactly. I think he puts you in the top 3. I think Aaron Rodgers will put you in the NFC Championship game. And no doubt, and no doubt about it. Shout out to a song coming over from Tim's. Let's see if they try to make us take all of A-Rod's money plus 6 draft. They're going to take Landon off our hands, period. Real true. No, I mean, y'all think about Detroit trade with the Rams, right? The Rams had to give up a whole lot more than what Matt Stafford was worth. Let's not be honest with that, because the Rams had to give up that contract. They needed help with Jared Goff's contract to get them out of salary cap hell. I don't see who in their right mind would be like, I get people talking about the money and everything, but the NFL is so damn fleeting, and it's only few and far and in between that you can go out here and win a game championship window, and you're going to pussyfoot around, and this defensive line is not going to be here in a year. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, shout out to Rolando. What's up, my man? The Savant. Ooh. Rolando with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He was the Savant. He called out Sam Cosme the morning of, and we got him. Shout out. Hey, Corey and Rico, what's up? The Rent, brother. I have a question for you both. Would you guys trade for Aaron Rodgers for a first and a third next year, a starting defensive lineman, and would you also trade, and who would you trade between Payne and Allen? Rico, I think we answered the first. I think this is better than what you and I came up with, but I'll let you go ahead first.
Oh, man, that's tough, man. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is clearly worth more than all of that. So I guess yes, even though it would hurt my heart to get rid of either one of those guys, I will definitely give up Ioannidis way before I give up those guys. Between Payne or Allen, hey man, that's right. Before last year, I would have said Allen easily, but Allen was really good last year, like really good. I'm waiting for your answer. I'm sorry, I need a second.
I would do that in a minute. I do it in a heartbeat. Yeah, and for sure. I'm okay with giving up Jonathan Allen. And the only reason why I say giving up Jonathan Allen is because his contract is up. His contract is up at the end of this year. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. It's not because of what how he's played or anything like that. I would give him up in that traded package. Like I said, the window is small, and we can't assume like people. We're too afraid. This is one thing I think about us as fans. We think we know we're good, right? We know we're good. We're saying, hey, Taylor Heineke almost took you to a divisional round date, right? But we're not willing to do what it takes. Sometimes you have to be bold. You have to be bold. And Aaron Rodgers, man, if he wants to come here and you can put together the package for him, I don't see why you don't do it. I'd send Allen in a minute, man. I really would. And third down says throw in Sheriff too. You know what? I ain't against that either. I'm not against throwing away Sheriff too. I said, look, if you don't, and y'all got to think too, does Sheriff want to be here? Does Landon Collins want to win? One of the biggest things we got out of Landon Collins was he's in the NFC East, and we play the New York Giants. Y'all just take this roundabout guess from me. How many times have we beat the Giants since Landon Collins has been in Washington?
It's so sad.
I'm being real. I'm being real with you. I really am. I'm being serious. Get gone. Get out of here. I don't have time for you. If you're not being about winning, go ahead. Go. That's the culture. The culture is to win. And if you want to win by any means necessary, go out and get Aaron Rodgers. Give up Allen and everything.
Yeah, man. Hey, Aaron Rodgers matters too much, bro. People forget the quarterback is the most valuable position. And I mean, I love Jonathan Allen, I love Daron Payne, but the train would keep moving. The train would keep moving. We'll just end up finding another guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Let's see here. We got some Ken said we don't need a 36-year-old quarterback at the tail end of his career. Should develop our own talent. We went out and got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ken.
And, bro, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't if 45 touchdowns and 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last year is his tail end. I'm taking it. I'll take the tail end.
Here we go. Look, I was looking at this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has thrown double-digit interceptions in. Hold on, let me see here now. He has not thrown double digits in a season in a decade. 2010, he threw 11.
That's ridiculous.
He threw 5 last year, 9 the year before that, 2. And so he threw 11 interceptions in 3 years, starting 16 games.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's not even Alex Smith, who's just dinking and dunking. He's slinging it.
Right. He is slinging that ball. I mean, y'all can go ahead and I mean, some people might not be for it. And like I said, this is a pipe dream right now. Ain't nothing. Yeah. This is all just speculation. Not like it's going to happen. But I mean, the folks that trust Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you can count to QBR and everything, I really worry about your sanity. I really do. Because he's proven to us that he's only good in spot duty. Yeah. At the end of the day, they said, well, he's played his best season. He got spelled for Tua. It then came back and replaced Tua. We can't have that. That's exactly what happened last year. And that's our biggest question mark. Go out with a bang, splash. And I want a guy who doesn't lose against Dallas, the Giants, the Eagles. Come on now. Be real with us, man. And kind of moving off of that, Jack Del Rio came out today and said that, I know. Keep your head up, Rico. Keep your head up. What's up, Daily Grind? How you doing, brother? And King Scorch is not happy with us either way, but it's all good. Landon Collins is going to play strong safety. And Jack said, don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. I don't know if you've seen it yet or you heard him yet. What were you thinking about Landon Collins coming back and he's going to play that strong safety? He ain't going linebacker, brother.
Boy, it is crazy because he even mentioned Landon Collins is losing weight to make sure he plays safety. Like they're all in on him playing safety. There's no chance of him playing linebacker. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that made me a little sad. I want to keep, giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, but this one right here, I'm very skeptical. I'm not a big fan of this at all.
Shoot, positivity going out the window, man. But we've kind of hit the hour mark here, man. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I appreciate you coming on here with us. And y'all got any final questions, leave them in the comments here, and then we'll get ready to wrap up. For real, we have the best roster in the division. Can't be losing those bozos in New York, Dallas, or Philly anymore. I think Aaron Rodgers will put you up there and go. I'll entertain you with this. Go look at Aaron Rodgers' record in the NFC against the NFC East. That should tell you everything you need to know. He does not lose to the NFC East very often. And I think I think maybe us and maybe the Giants probably have the most wins against him. So y'all take it for what it's worth in that respect. But I don't know. But you got anything before we wrap up here, Rico?
Man, I just the whole Landon Collins thing, man, that ruined all the momentum, man. I was watching film on the guys we drafted. I'm like, okay, this guy, we can do this with him. We can do that with him. I'm looking up quarterbacks next year. My boy Malik Willis, and then here comes Landon Collins will for sure play free safety. Well, back end safety, and he's losing weight to do it. So he's probably not going to be in the box much. And I was just like, come on, bro. Like this, it just like, why? We were having so much fun. We had 5 days of fun. And Jack Del Rio, what was the purpose of him even saying that? You could have let us wonder. You could have let me dream of him playing linebacker for the next few months. He didn't have to do that.
No, I'm glad he put it down already. Look, so that we can focus on other things. We can keep our hope up. Look, I kept my hope up for Deshaun Watson. Had Dak Prescott in my rearview mirror for a little bit. And what else was the other one? It was Landon Collins playing linebacker. I just want my hopes burned up and trading up in the draft for a quarterback, maybe. Even though my boy from Scott Abraham said it ain't gonna happen, and Scott Jackson said the same thing. Excuse me. What's up, King Sean? How you doing, brother? But yeah, hey Rico, brother, I appreciate you coming on here. Y'all check out Rico if you haven't. I know most of y'all have, but make sure you check him out. Subscribe to him. Follow him on Twitter at Street Scores Rico. And we're gonna have to do this again, brother. Probably.
For sure.
Probably, yeah. This was a blast, man, and I appreciate you coming on here, and we'll be keeping up with each other on Twitter and watching the videos and everything. But this young man, y'all, he is doing his thing. Like I said, he is part of that young big three in the Washington football YouTube community. And actually, we're alumni of the Burgundy Zone now, because I actually got to talk with Kyle and them last week. So Kyle and the mics, yeah, man. And that was
I love it over there.
Yeah, man, they are good. They are good dudes. Kyle was broadcasting from FedEx Field during the draft day, so I got to talk with them for about 15 minutes. So yeah, y'all go check that out and check out Rico's episode 2 wherever you can find your podcast at. But y'all, again, Rico, appreciate you, brother. I'm Sanchez 405, y'all, as always. And catch me next Wednesday. I'm going live, our annual schedule release show. It's going to be big. I'm going to try to get some guests on here as well. But as always, love, peace, and hail, y'all. And I'll be talking to y'all real soon. We are out.